Hello, Paula.
Hello.
What I would like to ask you is about the process of the filmmaking. How does it change from the first step to the last step? Of course, we discussed it, how the story and you and everything intertwine in a way that it might give you a new perspective about the movie, but what is like living in it? Because it's an experience, it's a personal experience first of all, then it's a team experience. How do you like wake up in the morning and then get back to sleep in the evening knowing that you're in this process?
That's a good question. I think especially like with the last movie that I made, it was a very, very long process of trying to write the script in a way that worked out. And for a very long time, I had a script written that I really didn't like. And I was like, I want to tell the story, but I don't know how at the moment. And so it was a lot of time that like went on, and I discussed it with a lot of friends who like work in the creative industry. And at one point, one of them, who's also the costume designer of the film, said, just delete this version of the script. It's not good. I'm sorry. I know you can do better. And I closed the tab on my laptop and I like rewrote it, and getting a lot of feedback and everything. And I think with this example, it was like step by step through each process. And because I didn't have a film background or didn't have a big community of filmmakers back then, I was like trying to figure out each step while I was doing the step, and each phase was like, oh, what's next? Oh, now I need this, now I need this. And I think it was really just trial and error and learning a lot from other people, and also trying to stay focused and like faithful in a way of, okay, I want to tell the story. I think I know how to tell the story now, so I'm just having to like sharpen my tools and see what I can, how I can work around the obstacles that might appear on the way.
Do you think that the story you want to tell gets influenced by other people while you're in the process of the making? And do you think that influence might affect you in some sort of way in the story? Like, does it change the whole concept that you had in your head? And is it really, I don't want to be very harsh on this, but is it really necessary to have this influence in order to tell your story?
I think the moment you work with other people, it changes because they bring their expertise or their perspective to it. And I wouldn't really say that it changes completely and it's a completely different story at the end, but it kind of adds onto the things that I might have written down or I might have thought, and then like the picture just adds up and different departments come together. So I think it is a completely different film, but I would say the film that I would have done alone would have been not as like strong or not as intense as it is now, with all the different layers of all the people like reading the script or giving feedback, or in the end like being on set and cooking for the crew or something. So I think all these different things, they like add up, and I think a film wouldn't be really sufficient without all the different.
This maybe is the main difference of cinematography and literature, because we know that the writers need their place to be a bit isolated, to be a bit on their own, and to create the narrative, while in the filmmaking is a whole different perspective, and you just have to collaborate with other people. But of course you should be flexible to accept different perspectives. So when you were writing the script, and you were of course maybe having different conversations with people from different backgrounds, of course it helped with the layers and everything, but at the meantime, did you felt like somehow you needed to have that? Did you become very like protective of your story? Like, because I know when people try to interfere or intervene, you feel like they're changing it, and you are like having a total different perspective that might not be what you wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think it's like a big, I would say, misunderstanding of collaboration, that when you work in a team, you need to sacrifice certain things. And of course this happens, but I think for me, what was like my biggest learning as a director is that I need to know what things can be changed and what I'm okay with being changed, and what things are like maybe even non-negotiable. Like there are certain things about maybe the style you have, or the story, the metaphors you want to use, or the dialogue you write. And I think with this, it's like very important to know what is like the basis for me that I want to have in the film, and what are the things that can be created around it. What can I like let go of and say, okay, this is your department, you do this part of the film and I do the other part, and then we come together and like put it together. So yeah, I think it's very important, especially on set when everything is like chaotic and crazy, to know what to decide for and what is okay of like being made differently, maybe in the moment or throughout the process.
So it's because when I was speaking to other directors, they felt like I came into this question because they felt like they were corrupting their story in a certain way. But there are, of course, directors who are very flexible on this, and there are directors who are very strict on this. Even script supervisors, they act like a bit aggressive with them. And it's very important, I think. Of course, I haven't shot a movie yet. I don't think I'm going to. But I think that it's very important to be flexible, but at the same time to know your limits, right?
Yes, and I think sometimes it's also maybe an ego thing. So there are people and you think, my idea is the best, I want to do it. But if you are not open to other ideas and other inputs, you might create exactly what you wanted to create, but it's not maybe the collaborative way or the heightened way of the project, when you know that there might be some add-ons from different people that really elevate the project, and then they see it from a different angle and they're like, oh, actually this would be great, and to like be open to this too, and to be like, yeah, okay, this idea is great and it wasn't mine, but I take it and it's good for my project. So I think this is also very important to just, for a lot of directors maybe to just chill a bit and be like, yeah, it's a film and it's very important, but it's I wouldn't say it's worth it, like focusing too much on just your vision, but see it as a collaborative.
Broadly.
Yeah.
How it's like to be a film director, and they're all talking about these big dreams and great cinema, bring great cinema again. But do you feel like we really need a great cinema, like big lights, great directors, and all this stuff? Does it like, do we really need it as a community, as humanity right now? Do we need all this grandeur and all this stuff that come with it?
I think it's nice to have a space to dream and to see great fancy things, but I think I would say maybe this is a bit, I don't know. I think we just need cultural funding for youth, for kids, for different types of people that do not have access to this grand like theater of cinema and the grand like shiny world, because it's like a very small amount of people that actually can work like this. So I think it's nice to have like these stories, or to have Hollywood and to have the history of that and to see where it's coming from. But I would much rather have 100 films made by people who've never had a camera in their hand than one grand film from a filmmaker that's been making film for 50 years or something. So I think for me it's really about the maybe community aspect and to strengthen this. And then if this is set, maybe then on top of this, like the grand cinema can reappear or be there again and be built from the society rather than being a different society outwards, like facing outwards and not really inwards, I would say. Yeah.
With details of authenticity, we try to be very careful while selecting the stories. And of course, what we talked even prior in the question that I made about this grandeur that we're living in, because we see film festivals and film that are blockbusters even. Do you think that we are giving the right space to the young artists, or more to say, do you think that the young artists not only should they have the support, but they themselves should just give it a shot and just go for it? And probably because I think that you didn't have a budget of millions.
No.
Exactly. What would be your advice for director that would come to you and say, oh, I don't have the budget, I don't feel very comfortable with the industry, I feel like I would never make it and everything? Because we must even admit that the social media and what we see around play like a very important role in this.
Yeah, I think I would love to just say go for it and do it, but I know I'm already in a very privileged situation of being able to, I don't know, go to university, have time to take off of work to make a film or to think about a film. And I think 5% would be, okay, go for it, because I think you need a lot of courage and you need a lot of like stamina and energy and focus for this. And even if you're very when you're starting on a very privileged level, it still needs a lot of energy, and you cannot just make a film and just be happy about it. But I think the most important thing when you feel like uncomfortable with the maybe with the business or everything is to really try and create your own bubble, or find the people that think like you or act like you or write like you, and try to stay there and try to find your friends who are in this together. Because I think for me the most important part is to have people to be angry about the same things with. So to sit there and really be like, oh, I don't like this, this and this, but also to lift yourself up and be like, oh, but I'm very excited about this and this and this, and we'll support each other. And I think no matter the scale, if you have €5 or 5 million, it's I think this is where it starts, or where it lasts. Because I think otherwise, if you're alone in this, people manage to do this alone, but I don't know how actually. So I could never. So yeah.
Should you be angry in order to create a movie? You study politics and cinema and everything, so...
I thought maybe no, but actually yes. I don't know. I think I am angry about a lot of things. So it actually, I think for my case, it helped me a lot to point that out, or to find people that are angry about the same things. I think you do not necessarily need it, but I think it's a good
start.
Yeah, a good initiator of really saying, oh wait, actually, I want to do something different. I want to try, and maybe I'll fail, or I'll fail again. But I'm angry about this and this, and I don't want to live in an industry that treats me bad. I would love to have an industry that treats me great. So we're trying to build this, I think, with this. Yes.
I want to thank you for the great conversation we have, and we will continue with the episodes in What's Your Story with other directors, and we will see you in the next What's Your Story. Thank you.
Bye.